What's up, you guys? FSC, Fest Jack Speed and Custom Shop. We're gonna go ahead and start buttoning up the 1998 Mustang over here. We got a lot of powder coated parts to start putting back on the engine. We gotta get the engine cleaned up. We gotta paint it up a little bit because we're not gonna pull the engine out, obviously, to go ahead and send it out to powder coat after we disassemble it. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the talking short. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Now what we wanna do is clean up this engine, because we're going to put the powder coated intake and front cover on it, but you'll still see the heads, which are aluminum, and the rusty iron block. You'll still be able to see it through the components. What I want to do now is to clean that up and paint it. This way it'll look much nicer underneath the powder coated parts that Gene did for me. Now that we're done painting the engine, I went ahead and put the intake up here. We're obviously going to be putting the intake down on the engine. I've already opened up the intake kit for it, which consists of each side of the intake, the top gasket, 6 injector O-rings, and the galley gaskets. This is for the EGR. We never took it apart, not worried about that. Those that are new to the channel may not know, this intake manifold and all the other components that I have on the shelf went down to Florida to a place called Buffalo Avenue Powder Coating. If you go back in my channel history, one of the first videos I did was the powder coating of these parts. I wasn't there to see them get powder coated, but I've been to Buffalo Avenue Powder Coating and I've seen Gene Lasker work in person. There's plenty of it on the video because he did, I'll give you an example, like one of them, why I went to Tampa for powder coating. That's down there. In that video, we did the rims for my Cadillac. Now that's supposed to be like my winter car, so it's just the factory stock rims that look better powder coated white. Also, during that trip, we picked up Lasker's blown 68 Chevelle. Blown meaning big supercharger sticking out of the hood, sitting on top of a 502 Chevy, big block. We also picked that car up to start working on it for him here. But I digress. All the parts are sent down to Buffalo Avenue Powder Coating to get powder coated. If you look into Buffalo Avenue Powder Coating and Gene Lasker specifically, you're going to find out he is the best powder coater, very possibly anywhere you're going to find, okay? With 30 plus years in the powder coat business, trust me, it's worth going to him. There's plenty of footage from videos past of Gene doing his thing at his shop. Believe me. If you're Bubba Army, meaning you listen to the Bubba the Love Sponge show, believe me, you know who Gene Lasker is and what he's about. So that's my powder coater. I go to him and that's that. Now this Mustang here. Now I powder coated all these parts. I just painted the engine. We don't want to pull the engine out. We're trying to make it look decent, so everything that's visible was painted. Obviously, it would be a huge bang to the budget to take that engine out, pull it down, powder coat all the pieces, put it back together, or rebuild it, in fact, and then put it in. If we're going to do that, well then heck, let's build a 460, drop that in there. They do make an oil pan to get a 460 in these cars, by the way. I would have much rather done that. Obviously, not in the budget. The man that owns this car, he understands there's a certain amount he could do because of a limited budget. But he simply looks at it like, look, it's a run with your brum. It is a V6, you're right. He doesn't have the money to be able to get a much nicer Mustang and then put a ton of work into it. Or go buy one brand new. You know, the new ones that make you feel like you're in a muscle car, pipes, exhaust noise through your speakers. Yeah, look that up, you find out that's real. What you think you're hearing, you're not. What his answer was, look, he wants to take the car. We did add a little performance to it. We put a bigger cam in it. We're going to change the programming in the car's computer to be able to run the bigger cam. So we did add a little performance. The car came to me with an aftermarket exhaust already installed, and at idle, it sounds pretty good. Now, before you start mocking on a V6 Mustang, let's look at it like this, okay? Two vehicles out there I want you to look into, okay? If you're watching me, you might be an automotive enthusiast. If you are, you already know about these two cars I'm getting ready to tell you about, okay? First on the list. One of the other YouTubers I follow is a channel called Daily Driven Exotics. And if you watch a few videos back on the one where a jealous guy gets in my face over his girl dancing with another dude, I was wearing a Daily Driven Exotics shirt that day. With that being said, if you follow that channel, you'll see that he talks a good amount about the Ford GT. And he's trying to get a brand new one. Ford GT, you know the old, you've seen one on Fast and the Furious. You've seen, they used to call them the Pantera back in the day, okay? I don't know that much about those years, but those are cars commonly referred to as Pantera. With that being said, the new ones come with a V6. They do not have a V8 in them. Bet you didn't know that. Another fairly famous car, if you're familiar with Ken Block, his 77 Ford F100. That's got an EcoBoost Ford V6 in it. Now granted, these are all twin turbos, but they are still based on a V6. I still personally would prefer the V8. I would have much rather this car to have a V8. Fact is, it's run with your brum. So, if you don't think your car is all that, still bring it to me, I'll make it that much better. Again, if you can custom think it, we'll custom build it. Hence, here we are. The man who owns this car ultimately wants to be able to open the hood, show it off, and have it look good. It's not all about going real fast. It's all about looking good too. Not only that, I've got another couple of tricks up my sleeve regarding the outside appearance of this car. In the end, the way I have it planned, this car isn't going to look anything like it does right now. It's going to look much different. It's going to have another fully functional design that, to be honest, I believe is exclusive only to me when it comes to Mustangs. With that being said, enough of my yakking. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? auto sequence for 44 inch-pounds. Now we go 89 inch-pounds. Before the fuel rail goes in, obviously sits in like so, and these bolts hold the rail down. Problem is I gotta clean the powder coat out of the threads. I'm gonna go ahead and run my tap into the hole. Thank you for watching. Well, in the end, we're just gonna have to grind it out and just keep on working. That's just what we do. That's about all the time I have for today. Actually, this video was combined between yesterday and today. Obviously, I worked a lot more than I filmed, but either way, I wanted to keep you guys up to date. So why don't you guys go ahead, join the FSC crew, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and get us a thumbs up, throw some comments in. Let me know what you think of the channel so far. While you're at it, go ahead and visit fscspeedshop.com. Right there, you'll find our merch. We've got Cream Machine shirts up right now. We've got Pinup Girl shirts up right now. More soon to come. Obviously, it goes without saying, I am a full-service speed and custom shop. What that means is this. You could bring me a car like this right here, and I could customize it for you. You don't have to have the craziest, wildest, just effectively do something with your car. The idea is to get it here, make it different. If you can custom think it, I can custom build it. And if you can't custom think it, bring it here anyway. We'll go ahead and come up with some cool ideas to make your car stand out. Why lose it in the parking lot? Be original. Have the only one like that there is out there. The other thing we do is we go out and get cars for you. Let's say, for example, you want a 1963 Chevy Biscayne. Obviously, I still drive truck part-time. I could bring a car or truck from a better area. Like, example, we could go out west and find something that's not loaded with road salt. We could go down south. My 91 Chevy pickup, that came out of Spokane, Washington. My 64 Chevy Impala, that came out of Atlanta. Think about it. If there's something you really like, I can find it for you. Name your price point. The idea is to come up with something, either I find it for you in really good shape or I find something for you in really bad shape. We take payments. What that means is you pay the bills as we work. Either we find a car for you or you get your original car here. By the way, this car is originally from Wisconsin, or at least the owner's from Wisconsin. I got Gene and Sarah Lasker's 1968 Supercharged Chevelle. That came out of Florida. Point is, no matter where you are, if you're seeing this video, we can get your vehicle here, we can work on it. So let's go ahead and close out this video. I am Steve Feschek. This is FSC, Feschek Speed and Custom Shop. What else can I do for you?